Good afternoon. Today is a holiday, but work continues. And what is on my mind, what crossed my mind during the day is the whole essence of success and learning. It has been a very interesting day of learning for me, but in my job, every day I find and meet people who come in and want to learn more, want to be different, want to do other things. But what also interesting is how people come to me with a particular mindset that says, particularly adults who say they are complete, they are finished products. We all know that's not true. As can be seen in previous videos, we are always in the process of evolving and becoming. However, part of being conscious about that process is around freeing ourselves from particular mindsets or particular beliefs and assumptions about who we are and what we are all about. What I have learned through all the years that I have been working with people and helping people develop and succeed, and it has become even stronger now in the last 4 or 5 years particularly, that I've been working really intensely in making really legendary people very successful, is that there's a bit of a formula that goes into developing new skills. It's much easier to learn new skills, which I'm very specific in terms of how I'm defining skill. I'm defining skill as something you can do, something that somebody can see that you can do. For example, singing, dancing, fixing a car, all of that are skills. You can learn a skill if you really want to. Oh yeah, I know that's not rocket science, but the science behind it though is something else. The science behind it is what makes it difficult for people to do is they focus on trying to learn the skill itself before they change particular things in their mindset. There are 4 things that one needs to really manipulate, shift, change, adjust before one can make it easy for themselves to change the skill or learn a new skill. Play the piano, play soccer, whatever. The first thing is you have to change or adjust your values. Our values effectively determine whether we value something or not, whether this thing is really important to us, whether this thing is a non-negotiable to us. Where it sits in our hierarchy of values is going to determine whether or not we do it, and particularly whether or not we do it fast. 2, the second thing we need to think about and reflect on and perhaps even adjust if necessary is our attitude. Yes, you've heard a lot of the statements about attitude. Your attitude is your altitude, or my favorite, mine. Your attitude is your parachute. But what I mean about attitude in this particular instance is whether you have a positive regard for whatever it is that you want to do or not. If you don't like something or you have a negative attitude towards it, it's not going to happen. You're not going to learn it. It doesn't matter how much they force you. Well, they can force you. You possibly can learn it. It will take a whole lot longer. Chances are you will forget it just as quickly. The third thing to think about is your motive. Why are you doing it? If there's no alignment between the reason why you're doing what you're doing and the skill you're trying to learn, not going to work. In fact, when we start talking about motives, we really talk about short-term and long-term. So I really differentiate between motive and purpose. Purpose is even more sustainable, because essentially that becomes the foundation of why you are doing what you're doing in the long term. However, motive is much more short-term oriented. That says, what is it that you're trying to achieve now? What need are you trying to satisfy now, in the current present, or in the very near future? If you can create a connection between the skill you're trying to develop and that motive, you're set. You will find yourself waking up in the morning to do it. The last thing that one needs to consider and adjust is personality. It's always interesting when people think about personality, they think it is who we are. However, I've already counted 3 attributes that make up who you are, and that's not personality. Personality is only one aspect of who you are. And the personality is really a mask, the way you appear, the way you want to be seen. That is that part of our being. According to one of the theories, there's about 16 personality types, which effectively means, and listen to this, you can change your personality. You can shift it, you can move it, you can adjust it. The core elements might remain the same, but if driven by really important or really powerful values, if driven by a really powerful attitude, if driven by a really powerful motive, your personality can adjust. I've changed, I always say to people, I've changed my personality 3 times in my lifetime up to so far. And each time it wasn't really difficult. In fact, I woke up one morning and realized, oh wow, I'm wearing this mask now, and it's much easier for me to do X. So when you value something strong enough, when your passion, your attitude towards it is strong enough, when your motive for achieving it and learning it is clear enough and important enough to you, your personality will shift and change to enable you to learn the particular skill that you need. That is today's thought of the day. Have a great day, and wishing you success.